Happy Halloween, everybody. Today's sort of like going out trick-or-treating. You're going to get a little bit of a mixed bag of stuff, just like when you go up to a house, you never know exactly which candy you're going to get. I got 3 or 4 little topics that we're going to talk about while I do this walk. Hello, everyone. Semi-retired Bob. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem really exciting, but if you consider a little over 3.5 years ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for a couple of minutes without severe pain. It gets a bit more interesting. I got on one of my heavy sweatshirts today because it's about 41 degrees outside right now, but at least it's sunny and the wind is not blowing hard, so it should be a fairly pleasant day for a walk in Omaha, Nebraska. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. I would like to ask everyone to help me out just a little bit. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. All these things are absolutely free and help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I am 62 years old, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40. Like out here walking. I'm going up that long hill that I used to start every day with. Haven't gone this way in a while because they've been doing road construction. And today we're gonna run into somebody out here grinding up his leaves with his mower. I gotta do that myself. Probably gonna wait till Monday because it's supposed to be colder tomorrow, only a high of 40 something. It's supposed to get up into the 50s today, but then on Sunday and Monday it's supposed to get to the mid 60s, and if it stays sunny the whole time, everything will dry out again. But let's get on into this thing. First thing I want to talk about, again, these first couple of topics have nothing to do with carnivore, really. But it is Halloween. And I'm sure you've all seen the thing floating around on social media. If a teenager comes up to your door to get candy, don't make a stink. There are so many other bad things they could be out there doing. Let them stay a kid a little while longer and just give them some candy. It's not that big a deal. No need to make a production of it. Now that I'm up at the top of that first big hill, of course, you can see that house over there. None of their inflatables are blown up. Maybe I'll come up here tonight after the sun goes down and take a couple pictures of that, because that house always puts out a lot of decorations. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that house all lit up. If I get enough people saying, "Yeah, I want to see the house," then I'll definitely make the trip up here tonight in the dark. The other thing I wanted to talk about that has nothing to do with carnivore You guys know I say a lot that, you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm just an old retired truck driver. Well, I think being an old retired truck driver means that I'm allowed to comment on this. I see a lot of posts out there on social media about how horrible it is that drivers that have been driving for 10 years or more are getting pulled off the road and having their CDLs suspended because they can't read a kid's book. Now, I can tell you that it's always been a requirement to read English to drive a big truck, at least well enough to understand the road signs. I'm not asking the same question everybody else has been asking. My question is, where are these fraudulent CDLs coming from? Because I remember back when I got mine, there was an extensive written test that you had to pass. It was like a 10-page booklet for your base CDL, and then depending on what endorsements you wanted, there was another 4 to 6 page booklet of questions that you had to answer for those endorsements. Endorsements being, you know, pull doubles and triples, pull tankers, pull hazardous material, that kind of stuff. How are they getting through the written tests that are required for these driver's license if they can't read English? Okay, that's enough non-carnivore stuff. I did have a question. Someone asked, well, how is it? I think this came up during the live stream with Dave. I don't remember exactly where I saw the question, but they were asking, well, how is it that you can sit there and say the pork rinds are perfectly okay, but olive oil is not? Well, first of all, I talk about seed oils quite a bit. Olive oil is not a seed oil. You can press an olive at home and get olive oil. The two things I caution about with olive oil: make sure that it's real olive oil. If you're paying a price that seems a lot lower than all of the other bottles on the shelf, you're probably going to want to turn it over and read the ingredients, because there aren't enough olive trees in the world to make all the bottles of olive oil that are out there. But there are unscrupulous companies, gee, if you can imagine that, that are out there putting olive oil on the labels. But then when you dig a little bit deeper, it's cut with something a lot cheaper, like canola oil, to make it go further. So there's nothing wrong with olive oil as long as you make sure it's 100% olive oil and not something else. And the other thing you need to be aware of is, if you're using olive oil to add some flavor to a piece of meat or whatever it is you're eating, after cooking is fine. But now, as I understand, now I'm no professional chef or any of that stuff, but I'm told that cooking with olive oil for carnivores can be bad because it has a very low oxidation point. So if you cook with it, it can do strange things to the oil that make it very similar to a seed oil with how it reacts in your body. There's a cute little, looks like a spider web thing. And of course, pork rinds are just pig skin deep fried in lard, which is pig fat, which is 100% carnivore, as long as, again, you're reading the label to make sure that it really is a good pork rind. Not those things that you get from the big, let's just call them one of the biggest chip manufacturers in the country. Those are fake. Those probably aren't good for you. Now I'm approaching my turn up here on this big walk. For those that haven't been on this big walk with me before, it's not really that big of a walk. When I have more time, I was doing 2 and 3 laps around this thing. But 1 lap around this thing is about 1.5 miles. It's almost 2 miles if I go through the park. And I think I feel like going through the park on this sunny day. So we're gonna skip my little turn coming up here and walk through the park just to give you guys something nicer than just city streets to look at. But the major topic of today is fiber. I see it all the time. How do you go to the bathroom if you're not eating any fiber? Well, I assure you, I've been doing this carnivore thing for, man, that baggy sweatshirt really makes me look fat if I don't pick my arms up. This sweatshirt is quite a bit too big for me, but the size, and I don't like it because it's white. It'll show the dirt more, but I found these on an Amazon sale a couple of weeks ago, and I got 2 sweatshirts for, it was less than 10 bucks, which makes each one less than 5 bucks, which is a pretty good price. And I'm gonna need sweatshirts and stuff like that, because when I get down to Texas, it will get chilly at night, sometimes downright cold at night, and I'm not really planning on having any heat in my car, just bundling up inside sweatshirts and inside my sleeping bag. Because once you're in your sleeping bag, you shouldn't really get very cold. Yeah, here's the trail for the park. Let's go ahead and take this walk around through here. But fiber, I poo just fine. And for those that don't agree with me on this, stop and think for a second. If you have diverticulitis or diverticulosis, which are 2 large bowel problems, what's one of the things they do to try and reduce the pain of those? That's right, they put you on a low to no fiber diet for a couple of weeks, trying to get it calmed down. Because we're not closely enough related to great apes that we have a huge cecum. As we eat indigestible plant matter, fiber, we do have the ability for the bacteria in our lower gut to ferment some of it, a very small amount. You know, if you look at like gorillas, they've got that great big belly. That's caused by their cecum working on all that plant matter, because they don't actually, just like ruminants, don't actually get nutrition from the plants. It feeds the bacteria that turns the plant matter into short chain fatty acids. And if it's undigestible, I know you don't want to think about it, but it basically just scrapes its way down through your entire digestive system. And that's why you get things like diverticulitis and diverticulosis and irritable bowel syndrome and all of the other things that can happen. And the other thing, I've talked about this many times, and again, it's a pseudoscientific study, because it's not like they locked the people in a lab. And Dr. Mason, if you go search Dr. Paul Mason fiber on YouTube, you'll find his entire talk about this. But the long and the short of it is that they did a study where, I think it was small, it was like 63 or 64 people. It wasn't very big, but they had people with idiopathic constipation. Idiopathic means they don't know the cause of it. That's fancy doctor speak for I don't know. And strangely enough, the group that kept their diet the same had about the same amount of constipation symptoms. The people that went on a higher fiber diet, gee, most of them got worse. The interesting thing about this little study is that the group that went on a no fiber diet, every person in that cohort experienced complete remission of all constipation symptoms. That makes you think. I said it's a small pseudo-scientific study, so you can't just rush right out and say, oh, see? But it does give us a place to start thinking about what I consider the lies they tell us about needing fiber. But we're more than halfway through the park now, so I'm going to shut up, play you some music, and I'll have a few more thoughts when we get back up to the house. Okay, we're coming up that last little rise to the house. I can tell it's been a while since I walked the full 2-mile loop through the park, but hey, it was fun. One of the things I forgot to talk about on fiber, one of the big arguments that some people will make is that, well, you need some fiber because the bacteria in your gut breaks down a little bit of fiber and provides the cells, I think they're called enteric cells, but I'm not going to swear to that. The cells that line your colon need one of the things that fiber puts out. Fiber puts out, and now don't get excited if I get these backwards or wrong, but the breakdown of fiber causes butyrate to form, which is a short chain fatty acid. But then before the cells can use them, your body converts it to beta hydroxybutyrate. And then it feeds the cells. What else is beta hydroxybutyrate? Well, it's one of the major ketones. And the cells don't really care which side of the wall they get fed from. So there is no danger in ruining your colon with a carnivore diet due to lack of beta hydroxybutyrate. I'm almost to the house. I think I'm going to end it right here. Hopefully some of what I said today made sense. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.